I'd like to thank Rhonda for sharing this recipe with me. And while I was cooking it up and all that stuff, I was trying to contemplate what I could call it because the recipe she sent didn't have a name. And I was put in mind of a movie I just watched recently on Friendly TV, you know, that streaming service, kind of family friendly streaming service. Anyway, they got a lot of westerns and I like westerns, so I was watching a movie called Cattle Drive, and basically it's a story about a young rich kid that gets stranded out in the plains and gets picked up by a cattle drive going through, and he is a spoiled brat from a rich dad, and he grows up along that cattle drive. It's a very good movie. And well, in the beginning of the movie, he's being spoiled on this train and derogatory and talking down to his staff and his cook and all that, and he was eating breakfast and he wanted fresh strawberries for breakfast, and they didn't have fresh strawberries. They were kind of hard to come by out west back then, so he was pretty upset about that. So anyway, I digress. He gets picked up by this cattle drive, and he's growing up along the process of the trail, and he's down sitting around the campfire one day, and the cook announces dinner's ready, and it's Prairie Strawberries. And this kid's eyes just brightened up. He's finally going to get his strawberries, and you should have seen the look on his face when he found out Prairie Strawberries are beans. It's a slang for beans. So that just really cracked me up, and I thought that is the perfect name for this dish, because they're kind of like a campfire pinto beans. So there you learn a little bit, if you didn't already know, that Prairie Strawberries are pinto beans. So, or beans probably, I don't know if it's specifically pinto beans, they're just beans. And that's what we're making today. So let's get on with it. Yesterday, one of my viewers shared a recipe that instantly I looked at that and I thought, I've got to make that because it just looks so good. And the main ingredient is chuck roast. So the recipe calls for 2 pounds of chuck roast, and the smallest one I could find at the commissary was 2 pounds, 2.74 pounds. So I'm gonna call it 2.5 pounds. I'm not going to change the recipe any up. We'll just have a little extra beef in there. And that can't be a bad thing, can it? So, let me get this open. The first thing I need to do is we're going to cut this chuck roast. That's a nice looking piece of beef. I'm not going to bore you with the full cutting it out. I'm just cutting slices. Then we're going to cut them across that way and make, I don't know, about inch by inch, thereabouts chunks. Stick it in our bowl. So I'm going to get to chopping this up, and I'll be right back. Alright, that was quick enough. I'm going to break out the cast iron today. Put this on max, sear, press, start. We're going to put a little bit of splash of olive oil in our skillet here. Get that heated up. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to cook, we're going to brown the outside of this roast in small quantities. The reason I say small quantities is because we don't want it to steam, and apparently if you overcrowd your pan, it will sting the meat instead of brown it. We don't want to do that. So the tip is to do it in small quantities with no pieces touching each other. And without stirring it, we're going to let that sit. I'm going to put some salt on the top. And some black pepper. And let that get nice and crispy brown on the bottom of that. and then we'll flip them over. All right, so we got that all seared. Let me tell you, my smoke detector is right by my skillet here, and we had to endure that beeping going off till we got that all seared, but it's done now. So I am going to turn this back on high, get that heated up, and we're going to deglaze the skillet and save that juice because there's a lot of cooked flavor on the bottom of that skillet. All right. Let's just save this juice. I'm going to get this mess cleared up and we're going to get set up for the next step. I'll see you in a minute. All right, we got that all cleaned up. So, we browned the beef. So we're going to go ahead and add the beef to our crock pot. And I have 1 pound of dry ham beans, pinto beans. It comes with the ham seasoning. I think I'm going to add this, but the directions on the bag say to add this the last 2 minutes of cooking. So, knowing how beans can be temperamental and getting hard beans, I'm not going to add that until the last 2 minutes. But that's 1 pound of pinto beans that I've rinsed and drained. We're going to add that to our crock pot. 6 cups of water. So I have the, what do you call that? Always left off the bottom of our skillet in here. And I'm going to bring that up to 6 cups and I'll be right back. All right, 6 cups of our water going in. And now we're going to add our seasoning, which is, I have 1 onion that I've diced up. That in there, just like that. 2 cups of green chili, hatch or canned diced. So I got 4 4-ounce cans of hatch diced green chilies, and I got 2 cans of the hot and 2 cans of the mild, thinking I might get a medium out of that. Let me get these open. All right, so let's put these 4 4-ounce cans in there. Juice and all. 1 teaspoon ground cumin. 1 teaspoon chili powder. 1 teaspoon smoked paprika. And 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. All right. It says salt and pepper to taste, but we salt and peppered the beef already. So I'm not going to add anything to that. And 4 cloves of garlic. Minced garlic. All right. Now, I'll just give that a gentle stir, get that all incorporated. We'll cover that. Let the crock pot do its magic. Put it on low. And in about 8 hours, that's going to be ready to go. So, it's an easy recipe, but it's going to be a good one. I know it's going to be a good one. All right, so let me get this all cleared up. We'll let this cook for 8 hours, and I'll see you in 8 hours. All right, it's been 8 hours, and I am going to go ahead and add this Hearst ham and beans ham flavor to the packet, to the beans. I had a taste and they taste really good, but I think this ham flavor might just give it that extra oomph. So we'll stir that in. And while I'm stirring this, when I make beans, I like to mash some of those up against the side. And that just gives my beans a little thickness. I don't mash them all, just some of them. That's totally optional, but I always like to do that. My roast, chuck roast is fall apart tender, which is what I wanted. And when we dish this up, we are going to kind of shred that into little pieces. Because shredded beef rehydrates really well. Alright. Let's give that a taste and just see what it tastes like. That is good. Alright, so I'm going to turn that off. We're going to let that cool down quite a bit. Then we'll get that trayed up. And I'll see you for the train. Alright, this has cooled down a little bit. So let's go ahead and get this trayed up. So I'm going to use my medium Harvest Right tray. And we're going to put 2.5 pounds per tray. Man, this looks just so good. Still quite hot. Put my eyeballs on so I can see. Alright, there's 2.5 pounds. And if I see any big chunks of meat in here, I'm going to go ahead and shred those. Just because I know that they rehydrate better that way. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 trays of this, which is going to give me 20 squares and 10 mils because I'm only going to use 2 squares. And the reason I'm doing that is because 2 squares is equivalent of 1/2 pound. And this is protein packed. It's got beef and beans. And I think 1/2 pound is a good portion size for me. And I'm also going to freeze dry off camera some cornbread crackers, squares that I make. I have a video of that, and I will pin in the description box below. No, not the description. I will pin in the comments below the link to how I do my cornbread crackers. Just be aware, do them that way on your own risk, because I have the older trays, which are a higher quality tray than the more modern tray. So I cook my cornbread in the tray, Harvest Right tray. The more modern trays, I'm afraid, will warp because people say they warp just in the freeze dryer. So I'm pretty sure if you use them in the oven, they're going to warp. So if you have the older trays, you can do it the way I do it in the video. If not, you just have to make cornbread and cut it in slices or something. Okay, so let's divide that into 10 squares. And I'll do another tray and I'll be right back. Alright, now I have enough left in here. If I wanted to, I could do a 3rd tray, but I don't want to. So I'm going to dish me up a bowl just to have right now, fresh. And we'll put that in the fridge and I'll eat that during the week. I want to see what this tastes like fresh. Let me show you up close. Okay. There's the fresh. Does that look good? I think it looks delicious. Keep it in the bowl, John. Nice and thick. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh yeah. Full of flavor. Oh my gosh. I just love beans. And this is so good. I wouldn't change a thing. Those hatch peppers, they've dissolved. And this isn't too spicy. If you really analyze the taste, you might taste some of that pepper in there, but it's just a perfect balance. Alright, so I'm going to let this continue to cool down. Once it's totally cooled down, I'll transfer it to my freezer, get it frozen solid, and it will go into my next load in the freeze dryer. I will also be adding a tray of cornbread to that load, and then my spare slot, and I got something else for that. Not involved in this video. So, next time you see all this, it'll be coming out of the freeze dryer. I'll see you then. Alright, there they are. My beans are done. And my cornbread crackers are done. So, first thing I want to do is go ahead and get those crackers kind of bagged up. What I'm using here is the fold and close sandwich bags. The ones that don't have a zipper. And we're just going to put 4 of those crackers in each bag. Just like that. Just kind of roll them over. Set them off to the side because those will be going into our meal pouch. Let me get that done and I'll be right back. Alright, we got those cornbread all sandwich bagged up. Let's go ahead and do our beans. Now we did 2 squares, or planned 2 squares per meal on this because of all the protein in them. And I think 2 squares is plenty. So we'll take our meal pouch. We'll take 2 squares of our beans. Drop them into our pouch. Give it a gentle crumble. And 1 bag of cornbread. Set that off to the side. Alright, so let me press on with this. I'll be right back. Alright, so the pouch now has our beans and our cornbread in there. Let me explain why I use those sandwich bags, the fold over type. That is because we can put 1 O2 absorber in this pouch and it will take the oxygen out of those sandwich bags as well as from the beans. So it kind of killed two birds with 1 stone, as they say. So, let's get our 300cc O2 absorbers open. Drop 1 in the pouch and get it zipped shut. Alright, got those all zipped up. My sealer is preheated, so let's go ahead and put our heat seal on there. Perfecto. Got those sealed up. Alright, so we'll leave these sit out for a day or 2 just to make sure everything is nice and stayed sealed, and then we'll put them away for long-term storage. And I will be back at a later time to rehydrate one of these, and we'll have one for dinner. I'll see you then. Alright, who's ready for dinner? I am. So let's get our Prairie Strawberries. What? Open. Pull out our crackers and our O2 absorber. And we put 2 squares of beans in there, so we're going to put a 1/2 cup of water. But we can make these as thin or as thick as we want. But we're going to start out with 1/2 cup. Just like that. Let's zip that shut. And let that sit for 2 minutes. Be back in 2 minutes. Alright. That's been 2 minutes. Now let's give her a stir. Yeah, that 1/2 cup looks just about right. Zip that one more time. And let it sit for 2 more minutes. Okay. We are complete. 1 more stir. Oh yeah. Those smell good. They smell delicious. I'm not going to give the whole spill on this because you guys are probably getting tired of hearing this, but for my new viewers, just want to let you know I get these pouches. They're called single meal pouches from topmylar.com. And what I'll do is in the description box below there are 2 codes that you can use at topmylar.com to save you some money. So I highly encourage you to go down there and check that out rather than give the spiel every time. And I've been using top Mylar meal pouches for years now, and I buy them by the case. I like them because they're shallow. So see my spoon here? It goes all the way to the bottom of the pouch. That way I can eat it right out of the pouch without having to dirty a dish. But for the videos, we like to dish it out so you can kind of see the quality of what it comes out like freeze-dried and reconstituted. There's my beans. Oh yeah, those look good. Piping hot too. We got some crackers, cornbread crackers. And I'm just going to doctor this up and make it pretty it up for my thumbnail. I got some of my green onions right out of my little garden. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of those up in there. And I'll get a nice picture of that for the thumbnail. Let's dig and see how they came back. So we got shredded beef chuck in here, beans, and hatch peppers, and seasoning. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh yeah, and that is good. Oh yeah, you guys are gonna love this. It was so easy to make. Everything came back beautifully. My beans, my sauce, my roast beef, it is good. And these cornbread crackers really add something to it too. They really do. And I think you guys will be impressed. I sure am. Well, I've waffled on long enough. I'm going to finish these off camera. We're going to get this all edited up and out to you, the viewers, and take this opportunity to say thank you to all my subscribers and channel members who reach deep into their pocket every month and help keep this channel up on YouTube. Deep, heartfelt thank you to all of you. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers.